Not every experience at a theme park with guests is a bad one. There are a lot of incredibly positive and memorable ones as well. When you work at a theme park, you're dealing with thousands and thousands of guests a day. A lot of those experiences and contacts with them will be very memorable, often for the wrong reasons. But there are a lot of them that are also incredibly positive. There are some guests that just make you as an employee or cast member feel incredibly special. There are some that even today I still love to think back on, and I've actually kept some of the things that have helped mark some of those experiences. What kind of experiences were memorable for me, and which ones can you as a guest do to maybe make for a little fun? Well, let me give you some ideas and share some stories from my time when people did similar things for me. One of the very first things that make a guest experience a positive one is something that a lot of guests surprisingly don't think of. Thank you! When I first started at the park, it didn't really occur to me how many people don't even think about that common courtesy, but it really became apparent when I would occasionally get a thank you and realize how many people hadn't said thank you. Most people, it was just part of the experience and, all right, that was wonderful, and they were off on their way and didn't even think about it. But when you would occasionally have those guests that would stop and say, hey, thank you so much, that was great, I appreciate it. Oh, be still my heart, there's somebody here who remembers manners. It's really kind of surprising. What you would think would be a very common thing really isn't that common. So that's my very first suggestion. If you're going to a theme park, say thank you repeatedly, over and over again. Anytime a cast member even does what's maybe considered their basic part of their job, you would be surprised how much a simple thank you can inspire a cast member. I had a couple times where I would come in and you'd just be kind of down or depressed or whatever, and you're out there trying to put on a good show. But sometimes it's tough. And a simple thank you from a guest will just turn your day around and give you the motivation to be able to keep going and go above and beyond. But some of my most memorable thank yous actually weren't from the adults. It was the kids. I had a number of times, in particular as a PhotoPass photographer, where I would take the pictures, and I always tried to make taking pictures a fun experience. I tried to not just, hey, let me pose you for a couple pictures. Okay, great, thank you. Instead, to make it a fun experience, let's do something memorable. Let's joke around, let's laugh. So that way the guests, when they left, would say, I'm really happy I stopped because that was fun. And if I had kids in the group, that made it even easier because I love playing with kids and teasing them and joking around. But where I really knew I had done a good job was when these kids that'd be 5, 6, 7 years old when I was done would come running up to give me a hug. Man, you want to make a cast member's day? Have a kid give you a hug and your day is just made. There is kind of a certain age cutoff where it gets a little creepy, so if you're an adult or whatever, unless it's an emotional moment, probably not a good idea. But for kids, that was awesome because you knew a kid didn't mean anything weird by it. They were just saying thank you and that they had a great time. And oh, I love those hugs from the kids. That made my day. Another thing, though, that I would have guests do sometimes that would totally make my day, autograph books. It was amazing to me when a guest would come up and ask for my autograph. And I can actually still remember the very first time that this ever happened to me. I was working at Magic Kingdom. I was out on Main Street taking pictures of the castle and had taken a picture of a family. In my mind, it wasn't anything unusual that I did. This kid, little boy, who's probably about 8 years old, somewhere around there, suddenly as we're finishing up and I'm handing the PhotoPass card to the dad, the kid starts grabbing his mom. Mom, the book, I gotta have the book. And I'm noticing but trying not to notice because I don't want to be weird and, hey, what book, what's wrong with you, kid? Mom finally figures out what he means, pulls out his autograph book, and he comes running up to me and says, "You're awesome, can I get your autograph?" Now, okay, I'm just a regular cast member, but to the kid, I was Disney. And that just blew my mind. This kid wants my autograph? And yeah, I almost broke down crying on the street because some kid wanted my autograph in their book. And every now and then, probably every 2 or 3 months, another guest would pull out an autograph book and, "Hey, you've helped make this memorable. I want your autograph so I can remember you." And every now and then, they'd even take a picture of me to be able to put into the book with the autograph. And okay, that was just really cool. That was awesome when they would do that. And like, wow, I feel really special. So something as simple as that would just blow my mind to make an awesome day. I will never forget. I wish I remember the name of that kid who did it the first time. That was such an awesome feeling. I mean, he made my week. I was like flying. This kid asked for my autograph because it was just that cool. Autographs are a great way to make a cast member's day. But I also mentioned the pictures. You knew that you had done an incredibly memorable job and connecting with the guests when they wanted to get a picture with you. Yes, they're getting pictures with the characters and they're getting pictures, at Disney and around Disney. But when they wanted pictures of them with you as a cast member, that really made your day. There were enough that they all kind of blend together for me now after all the years have gone by. But I can remember when I would have guests that would want that picture. And wow, that just really makes you special. I wasn't shooting to get in a guest photo, but at the same time, it was always kind of fun when the guests wanted me in. There were actually a couple ways that I would kind of work my way into photos. When we would work Main Street, if we were slow at times, there would be several photographers all kind of lined up and down Main Street. Well, if we saw a guest that was up, say, in front of us, that was getting their picture, and we were kind of behind them, we might photobomb them. And there were a few times I would go running up as the other PhotoPass photographer was getting ready to take the picture, and I kind of signal them so they knew, because you're not technically supposed to take PhotoPass pictures of cast members in costume. So I would signal them so that way they didn't take the picture and get themselves in trouble. But then I would come running up behind the family and go, I'm here! What was hilarious was how many families, when we would do stuff like that, would then actually want a picture with us in it. No, it was a joke. Really? Oh, come on, get in. We got to do this. Well, then we would use the guest camera and get the picture. But things like that were always fun because it was us making their moment, trying to make it more fun and memorable, and then turning it around and us becoming a part of it and being memorable for us as well. Some of the special moments at Silver Dollar City were the kids. Working on the train at Silver Dollar City, in a lot of ways, the train is kind of the center focus of the park. Yes, it's got these huge rides, but for a lot of people, the train is Silver Dollar City. And there's a lot of people that are huge fans of the train. Well, you would have kids that had gotten so interested in trains that they would actually come to the train dressed up as engineers and occasionally conductors. That would just make your day because you have this kid that, as far as they're concerned, you're a rock star because you're working on the train. And so I've got a number of pictures where I have pictures of me with these kids as conductors. And we would try to make their day and let them say all aboard and take them up to the engine. And it really would make your day, though, because these kids were looking at you as somebody to emulate. Wow, okay, you can't let the kids down. And we had a number of guests where just doing normal things, the guests would turn around and they would respond with these huge thank yous. And I had a couple times where we just help a couple guests trying to get to where they're going and work things out. A kind word, and you'd have these guests that would start to cry on your shoulder. I will never forget one lady that her husband wasn't there because he was sick. They were there with the family. They weren't sure how he was going to do, and I had just been chatting with them and just telling them, you know what, I'm sorry, I feel for your husband, I'm going to pray for you guys. Just the response, thank you so much, and getting letters in because of that. That was always kind of neat. But what was really neat too was when guests, because you had done something special, decided to return the favor. Give you something. I have viewers ask sometimes, is it okay to give a cast member or employee a gift? Yes, it is, within reason. Tips are not allowed generally of theme park workers, and so if we were offered a cash tip, whether it was Busch or Silver Dollar City or Disney, the answer was no, because we were just doing our job, and we had to say no 3 times. That was the rule. You have to say no 3 times, refuse the tip. At that point, you didn't want to refuse anymore because then you didn't want to offend the guest, but we also were not supposed to keep cash tips. So if we did give one, we were supposed to go to our management and say, hey, a guest gave me this, I got to turn it in. And sometimes the managers would kind of say, I didn't see that, didn't see it, put it away. Okay, cool, that means you can keep it. And I did have that happen a couple times. But I did have guests give me other things that were extremely memorable and just made my day. And I've actually got a little stack of them here. From Disney, I actually got mailed a couple thank you cards. And just a simple little note card like this. And they wrote inside what they wanted to do. But just in long conversations with the guests, we would get to know them, they would get to know us, and end up giving out names, and next thing you know, you got a card in the mail from this family that just wants to bless you. That was really cool when you would get that. That was extremely unusual. I normally did not give out my full name to guests. Something else that a guest could do very simply was they could turn in a guest service fanatic card. Now this has changed a bunch over the years, and yes, I did actually keep all of the ones I got. So I've got all sorts of them here. Guests could get these. They could go down to guest relations and tell them to fill them out. This is done a little different now. Now Twitter is your friend if you want to do something like this. All you have to do is on Twitter, do hashtag cast compliment and address it to WDW Today, and it will actually get to the cast member. You can take a picture of the cast member doing their job, briefly say what they did, and then go hashtag cast compliment and tag WDW Today, and they will get the modern day equivalent of this. They will actually come down with a letter saying good job and give them a recognition for it. These, like I said, anytime I got one of those, that made your day and you knew that you had done something right. But if a guest wanted to do something on the spot and didn't want to forget, I had several guests that would do these. And I actually started doing this myself on my trips to Disney now. Just simple little thank you notes. And you can actually download these things on the internet, print them, customize them, and print them off. And then they would hand those to me and they would basically say, hey, you did a great thing. You made this fun and memorable. And yes, I actually have several of those I've been given over the years. Those were very cool. Other things that guests would give me, I had one from San Francisco give me a Ghirardelli chocolate bar. Oh, now see, I like Ghirardelli chocolate because I'm from California, and so I recognize that immediately. Now, chocolate down in Florida is usually not a good idea because it gets hot enough that they melt. That was really nice. We would have guests that would occasionally bring in little goodie bags, just little bags of candy or treats, and wrap it up with a thank you note. That was such a neat deal. Hey, you're doing your job, and the guest would say, you know what? That was really cool. Here, thank you so much for helping to make our day and our trip. Whoa, that was awesome. At Silver Dollar City, we actually had a guest who would regularly do that. We called her the Cookie Lady. And yes, there's pictures of me eating cookies while robbing the train because she'd come by and drop off cookies. Man, any day that the Cookie Lady came by and visited was a good day. Something simple like treats for the cast members is awesome because they can put it away into a pocket, keep it safe that way. But then they've got this nice treat. Generally, don't do home-baked goods. The Cookie Lady was cool because we knew who she was and she'd built up her reputation. But if you give them prepackaged cookies and individually wrapped stuff, things like that are great. Yeah, we loved when we get stuff like that. Silver Dollar City also had its version of the cast recognition. They called it Thanks for the Win. And so they didn't have carbons there, so I had to make copies of mine that way to keep them. But yes, I keep all of that kind of stuff. Other things that they did was Silver Dollar City for a while would actually give some guests wood nickels and told people that if somebody working at the park did something great, give them the wood nickel to let them know that they did a good job. And I did get a couple of them. That's one of them right there. It says, you just scored a win. And of course I had to keep one of them. We were supposed to take them and turn them in and get prizes for it, but yeah, I got to keep at least one. Simple little trinkets like that were wonderful. I had one guest on the train. He came by, and as I was working as a conductor one day, he said, you know what? I've been trying to find this train robber and trying to see if I can't figure out where he went. And he hands me this. And it was just like, how cool is that? He takes a picture of me while robbing and makes a wanted poster. That was awesome. Totally made my day. Absolutely loved that. So yes, that is still kept here and reprised today. But for me, just little trinkets and mementos would be able to take a regular experience and turn it into an incredibly memorable and fun one for me. I love being able to help the guests when I would get something that let me know I had. That was just awesome. Never expected that, but it was a wonderful thing to do, and it actually still continues today. Because I have people even now today watching the videos that blow me away, and I get fan mail and emails and other things. And every time I get something, I'm humbled by it. But people may wonder, yes, I do actually keep all of it. And this is only one of 2 folders I've actually got. And that is all just fan mail. Reading it always touches me. And there are times that I will sit down and just say, you know, because I'm a human being. And wow, am I wasting my time? What's going on? Is this even worth it sometimes? And that's when I pull up the folder and I start flipping through the fan mail. So when you write even to me or to other cast members, it does make a difference. And if you want to reward a cast member who's done something special, write to guest services. Send them an email or a letter, and those things do get back to the cast members. Include the cast member's name if you can, or a photo if you can, where they worked, when they worked, what they were doing, and it will go through the management system and get down to their area manager and then relate to them. It is an awesome, incredible experience When you come into work and your manager says, hey, I've got something for you. This came in about you. And wow, okay, I did something I didn't even realize I had been doing. And you get this compliment that way. It is a wonderful feeling when guests do that for you. And it really makes the job worth it. That's some of the memorable experiences I've had while working at parks where guests turned it into a positive experience, and how you can do that for a cast member or a theme park employee as well. What are some other ways you've thanked them or seen them thanked? I'd love to hear those stories, or if you have questions about what's appropriate and what isn't, please don't hesitate, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and share this video, please. Help get the word out there. My goal is 30,000 subscribers here, and I've got something special coming when I hit it, so help me get there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Thank you as well to my patrons. Y'all are a huge blessing to me. If you want to know more about Patreon and financially supporting me, check the link down below in the description. There's also links to the Facebook fan page and groups, Discord, Reddit, and so much more, as well as merchandise. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Here are some of my favorites and some of the most memorable positive experiences I had. I just spit on my mic. That was totally gross. And we're expecting to hear all the horror stories and everything else. No. Okay. Come on. Focus. Not there. Okay. I know. It's if making weird noises will make a difference. So maybe you're a guest and you kind of want to leave a positive... Why can't I get these words out? Ugh. Man, you want to make a cast member's day. Give a kid a... Get a... If you want to know whenever I have a new video out, well, hey, make sure you hit that button right there and subscribe. If you want to see another video right now, well, I've got a great one right here for you. And if you want to be like these wonderful people here and help support me financially on Patreon, well, check out that link right there and it'll take you to it. Thanks so much and God bless.